Guys, let's talk about Craig Mack. See, it's messed up enough that Craig Mack started Bad Boy and got them off the ground, but we all know that Diddy and his freak parties, that's what exposed Craig Mack and got him HIV.
So I stopped recording. I said, I'm not gonna be an idiot and sit here and do all this stuff for everybody, and I'm not gonna see anything from it. Next thing I know, money come, with this bullish mafia mentality with him and his goons and all.
Puff told Craig Mack if he didn't change management, he wasn't fucking with him no more. You understand? And they had a real big beef.
When Netflix released its major 2025 documentary, fans noticed something surprising. Craig Mack barely got a mention. The release sparked conversations because Mack wasn't just any artist. He was the one who put the label on the map with his hit Flavor in Your Ear. Congratulate Craig Mack on his Grammy nomination. No question. Yes, baby. Cool. That track didn't just climb the charts, it changed everything and gave the label its first real buzz. Yet, the documentary seemed to skip over crucial parts of his story, his role, his sudden exit, and what happened afterward. Viewers and longtime fans quickly noticed that many key details about his journey were left unclear, fueling online discussions about what truly happened during that chapter of his career.
Craig Mack on his Grammy nomination.
No question.
Yes, baby, yeah. Cool, that's cool.
Craig Mack passed away in 2018 from reported heart failure, yet fans online continue to debate what they believe may have been missing from public reports. None of these claims are confirmed, but the discussions show how much people still care about his legacy and want his full story told. Mack's beginnings were humble but inspiring. He grew up in Brentwood, Long Island, New York, a peaceful neighborhood far removed from the music industry spotlight.
Music. So, Puff said, yo, I ain't with that kid no more. Not at all. I was right there when he said that.
There were no fancy studios or industry insiders, just local talent and relentless determination. From a young age, Mack was captivated by rap music. He studied rhythm, wordplay, and storytelling, treating hip-hop as a craft, not just a hobby. His passion for music shaped everything he did and helped define the sound of an entire era.
He was kind of cool at first, and then we started seeing some things.
And Craig Mack went to his grave mad at Bad Boy.
The label wanted Craig Mack to wear suits and fit a certain image, but Mack was trying to keep it gully. He was trying to stay true to himself. Already putting in serious work, performing wherever he could, Mack aimed to carve a name for himself. Back in 1988, under the name MCZ, he released his first single, a record showing early flashes of skill and confidence, even if it didn't bring instant fame. There were no big radio spins or major label deals yet, but Mack pressed on, building a reputation through live shows, non-stop writing, and refining his flow with each performance.
He wanted Craig Mack to wear suits and all this other stuff, and Craig Mack was trying to keep it gully. He was trying to keep it.
That steady grind started paying off in the early 1990s during a moment that shifted his path. One night outside a New York nightclub, Mack was freestyling on the street, something he did regularly to keep energy high and connect with people. Multiple reports suggest a rising industry figure noticed him, struck by his voice and confidence. That spontaneous street moment reportedly opened the door to one of the biggest breaks of his career. Not long after, Craig Mack became one of the first artists to join a label that would define 1990s hip-hop. At that time, the label was brand new, no established stars, no proven hit formula, just ambition and creativity. Mack wasn't just another name. He helped shape the label's early sound. His raw delivery and charisma blended underground street flavor with mainstream appeal, creating a style that instantly stood out and helped push hip-hop into a new era.
Up in the back of the club, and I kicked a little freestyle rhyme for him and stuff like that. He was like, yo, your stuff is all that, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you kick a little something with Mary J? So he did it like that, you know what I'm saying? The next thing you know.
In 1994, Craig Mack dropped Flavor in Your Ear, then came the remix, and that's when things really exploded. Featuring Notorious B.I., LL Cool J, and Busta Rhymes, the track united major talents from across hip-hop. It was a cultural moment, showing how diverse and powerful the genre had become. The remix didn't just top charts, it demonstrated the label's ambition to compete with the biggest names in the industry. But as success grew, so did change. While Flavor in Your Ear dominated the airwaves, another rising artist from the same camp began capturing massive attention. As this new star's fame skyrocketed, the label's focus reportedly shifted toward new projects. Mack, who had helped establish the label's early credibility, quietly received less spotlight. His momentum slowed, not due to controversy, but because the spotlight moved in a new direction. Still, his contribution to the early sound remained undeniable. Craig Mack had made his mark, and hip-hop fans never forgot it.
He got on that remix on Craig Mack's song, and he went first on Craig Mack's song. When he did that remix, then it started been looking up for him.
Craig Mack's rise was rapid, and the label reacted as many companies do with a breakout star. All attention, promotion, and resources shifted toward the biggest moment on the roster. At first, the change was subtle, but over time, it became clear that focus was moving elsewhere. Mack, once central to shaping the label's sound, slowly faded from the spotlight, though he remained signed and continued making music. This wasn't overnight, it was a gradual shift.
Ben said that Craig Mack, he was going to Death Row, right? How did Biggie and Puffy feel about that?
That Craig Mack was going to sign to Death Row. He was going to be their first artist on Death Row East. He was coming in there with
Media attention drifted, label priorities reportedly shifted, and Mack's name wasn't promoted with the same intensity. His next project, Operation Get Down, reflected that change. The album faced delays and, when it dropped, lacked the promotional push that had supported his debut. There was limited press, minimal visibility, tough conditions in an industry where timing and exposure can make or break a release. Fans eager for new music waited, unsure of what was next. Behind the scenes, Mack reportedly felt creatively stuck, limited by his contract. By 1996, he reportedly filed for bankruptcy, seen by some as a strategic move to regain control of his career. Around that time, unconfirmed reports suggest his former wife, Roxanne Alexis Hill Johnson, described the period as personally difficult, filled with roadblocks slowing his career momentum. By this point, Mack felt trapped between legal restrictions and creative limits. What once seemed like an open road had turned into a tough climb. Later, he shared stories revealing the pressure he felt being confronted by a music executive over unfinished material, a situation that felt more like a demand than a discussion. Mack refused to record under what he believed were unfair conditions, adding stress to an already difficult time. He never named anyone or made direct accusations, only shared how heavy the behind-the-scenes pressure could be. By the early 2000s, Craig Mack decided to step away from the industry. In 2012, he reportedly joined a religious ministry in South Carolina. The leader's public comments highlighted a spiritual rebirth, a fresh start leaving his music career behind. For the community, it symbolized choosing faith and peace over the pressures of fame.
So I stopped recording. I said, I'm not going to be an idiot and sit here and do all this stuff for everybody, and I'm not going to see anything from it. Next thing I know, money come, with this bullish mafia mentality with him and his goon.
Fans remembering his 1990s rise wondered why he stepped away completely. Many believed it was a mix of personal challenges, career frustrations, and a search for meaning. Whatever the reason, it was clear Mack wanted a calmer, more fulfilling life. To friends and fellow artists, the decision seemed sudden, even mysterious. Yet Mack appeared content, finding peace, direction, and control over his path. His transformation marked a powerful turning point from rising hip-hop star to a man seeking renewal, faith, and quiet far from the spotlight. Fame, interviews, and public attention no longer defined him. He chose a quieter life built on purpose and reflection.
All this gospel music came on, and it was this song I've never heard before in my life ever, but I knew that it was God talking to me.
Craig Mack passed away on March 12, 2018, at the age of 47, while living in Walterboro, South Carolina. he was far from the busy music.
Craig Mack passed away on March 12, 2018, at 47, in Walterboro, South Carolina, far from New York or Los Angeles's busy music hubs. Fans were shocked. A key figure from hip-hop's early 1990s wave had passed. Mack's early success helped shape a generation. Fellow artists often cited his unique voice, confident delivery, and the timeless energy of flavor in your ear. Decades later, the track remained a classic. Though his later years were private, his influence endured. After his death, fans revisited his story, reflecting on his choice to leave fame and focus on faith. Living quietly far from the spotlight, he demonstrated the toll of fame, contracts, and constant pressure. Officially, his death was from heart failure, with no foul play. Yet his absence and passing prompted reflection on his hidden struggles, the unseen challenges of artists in the industry, and how much of an artist's journey happens beyond public view. Even after his death, discussions continued about his career pressures, tough choices, and later life. Mack's quiet retreat, business, and contractual struggles illustrated the complexity of maintaining creative freedom in music. His legacy became more than music, a reflection of perseverance and the hidden costs of chasing success. Major documentaries highlighted hits and label rise, but his personal journey, struggles, and reasons for stepping back were often left out.
All right, guys, let's talk about Craig Mack. See, it's messed up enough that Craig Mack started Bad Boy and got them off the ground, but we all know that Diddy and his freak parties, that's what exposed Craig Mack and got him HIV.
Craig Mack's life became more than hip-hop history, a reminder of unseen realities artists face behind the scenes. Even after Flavor in Your Ear topped charts, his story stands as a lesson. Talent, determination, and faith coexist with pressure, sacrifice, and silence. His legacy isn't only success, it's resilience and the truth that an artist's journey has layers the public rarely sees. In a resurfaced interview, Mack spoke openly about industry frustrations, not angrily, but with honesty and reflection. He discussed fame's pressure, contract navigation, and the balancing act between loyalty, creativity, and business. His words offered a rare view into how sudden success can weigh on an artist trying to remain true to their vision. Around that time, conversations about artist rights and publishing resurfaced, reigniting interest in Mack's early contributions. Though it's unclear if he regained control of his catalog, fans viewed it as a reminder of his central role in hip-hop history. Modern documentaries revisiting that era still left much untold, Mack's struggles, withdrawal from music, and personal choices behind it all. Craig Mack wasn't a background figure. He was a key artist defining an era before the label's biggest stars emerged.
Heart failure, you know what I'm saying? That was then.
Craig Mack's legacy still sparks conversation because his story goes far beyond music. While it's easy to celebrate the label's later success, the complexities, pressure, choices, personal reflection are often left out. Fans ask, not from suspicion, but from curiosity and respect, why was such an important part of hip-hop history unexplored? Why were moments showing Mack's dedication and sacrifice left in the shadows? His journey wasn't just one hit song. It revealed the unseen side of fame, the challenge of staying true, and the real cost of building something groundbreaking. Craig Mack's story reminds us that behind every chart-topping record lies a human story with lessons on resilience, balance, and truth. For more deep dives into hip-hop's untold stories and forgotten legends, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on what's coming next.